How you doing? Ben from the Hollywoods. Well, I would say on the grand stage, on a grand scale, the world looks like it's in disaster. But remember, it's in disaster for those that believe it's in disaster. And it's fantasy being foisted on you, called subliminal imaging, subliminal sounds, constantly being bombarded on you. I'm not an electrician, attached to microwaves, attached to phone waves, certainly beating out of your television, and a lot of the internet. So it's a puppet show. Are you a puppet?
I put a spell on you.
Well, campers, in today's world, everything has changed. There are no rules, and the bad guys are octopuses reaching out in all different directions. Look, I talked about this on the radio, KPFK radio, 30 years, maybe more ago. Yeah, about 30 years ago. And some guy called in and asked, what's the difference between the FBI and the CIA? And I said, difference is the FBI has the heroin and the CIA deals with the cocaine. And then take a look at fortunes of the Bushes, and along with Bill Clinton, and that airport there, and then shooting that guy in the back in Washington, and then that big succession of murders. And all along I was voting for the left wing, with a nice talking ideals, but like everybody else, who had time to go into the complicated texture of politics, or world politics for that matter. When you take a look at it now unraveled, like on YouTube, completely unraveled, it's a definite conspiracy to keep you down and out and your money. They estimate now, if you're following Neil Keenan in those trials in the Polynesian Islands, they have hoarded, the Rothschilds banking cartel have hoarded $785 trillion that these Nassau laws are supposed to break loose into the society first to end hunger and starvation, as it should. And then the next money's to stimulate the ocean for fish, to stimulate the deserts to grow again. And these are all the things that Nassara is supposed to do. But listen, it's really going to be up to you and me to do something about this, because it's in a bad logjam, pretty bad logjam. But let's take a look at how does all this apply to Aries, because this issue here, I would think, would be Uranus square Pluto. So if we take Aries as the rising sign, and then we go into the 10th house for Pluto in Capricorn, so that Pluto's 11 degrees Capricorn right now, that would affect those born in late December and early January. They're all going to be feeling that now. Along with Aries, around the first decadent of Aries, they're getting it now. And I got it right on my Mars, and I got calf problems, and I solved them by researching a chemical called magnesium malate. Well, if any of you are getting that runner's calf or Charlie horses, that'll stop it. So will apple cider vinegar if you can stand to drink a cup of it. I put it on the salad and drink the salad dressing. That's how I get it. Okay. So, so then we're looking at Aries also for their Saturn in Scorpio. That's the 8th house. So the sex life is probably not doing too well, but they could inherit something. That house is good for inheritance. It's good for sexual stuff too, and it also rules deaths. So I know about that now. I researched it with Michael Newton. I did 2,000 regressions into death, and I had all of his studies on it. And when I had my heart attack here in August, I died for 15 minutes, if you can believe it. I should be a punching bag now, but I seem to have some brain faculties left. Memory is one that got really damaged. But anyway, the point being, I forgot the point. Well, so much for the point. Oh yeah, the point, Saturn and Scorpio. Yeah, you can die. I died for 15 minutes. So I actually know what it's like to die. And Michael Newton had it exactly right. And so that's used in the Ben Harris videos a lot. And you just go into kind of a tunnel. And I think whether you like it or not, you have to float up through the lower astral, which can be kind of spooky, you know, a little spooky. So and also the Aries are getting Jupiter and Cancer in exalted Jupiter in their 4th house. Now, how good could that be? The home, the place they live, the foundation of life itself, all aspects of the home are under a blessing. So put purple everywhere. You know, buy purple cloth to lay around. All right? Okay. Now for Pisces rising. Neptune, the ruler, and Neptune being over at 3 degrees of Pisces. So that's going opposite that 0 degree of Virgo, which is that degree of perfection. And a lot of people have that. Lyndon Johnson had it. And it would appear he was right in on the murdering of Lee Kennedy. They had to keep that cabal going. Poor Kennedy didn't know how nasty they were. But his family was a family of smugglers. So it's not like they were a bunch of saints. All right, Pisces rising. You got the Aries in your 12th house. So be careful of broken bones. Uranus in Aries is going too fast and ramming into things. So watch out for that tendency to run blindly into doing stuff. Because the Neptune and Virgo make you think that you're perfect, but you know, just be careful with that. And then Pluto in Capricorn is 2 houses up for you, so that's writing. So you might want to take up some writing. The part of fortune there now. I'm reading this off of what's called an horary chart, kind of how the future projects from now. So it projects as very lucky for writing, yeah, definitely writing. Communication, and brothers and sisters will be in the picture too. And then you got Saturn and Scorpio in a trine. That's good. Saturn will be in your 5th house. So if you got any kids, now's the time to get them nourished and activated. And then Jupiter in Cancer, of course, in lucky trine, what will be, I guess, your, let's see, maybe 7th, 8th house. So your sex life should be shining, you know, lose a few pounds. Eat fruit for breakfast, and fruit and yogurt for lunch for a week or so. You'll trim down and be very juicy. All right, that's it for now. Well, Aquarius rising. Ruler is Uranus. Uranus is in Aries. And that's in your third house, so that's communication as well. So you need to communicate. And Aquarius does that by being friendly. And the key to activating the planet Uranus is eating apples, especially the green ones, those real hard, crunchy ones. Well, there's some element in there that has a favorable effect on Uranian activities, which are those of generated by friendliness and goodwill, and they're inspirations of genius that come in usually Neptune's come in the dreams, but Uranus come in a flash. I get mine sitting in a cafe in Hollywood on Hillhurst, looking up around toward the planetarium, and I used to live up there on the top of that hill, and so I know views from both ends. And for me, I get a lot of flashes there, telepathic connections that we made through our telepathic seminars. All right, cool. All right, Capricorn rising. You got Pluto in the first house, so this is time to be doing the Ironman, working out, getting muscles. And I know you like to work, but if your body is not solid, what good is the structure you're building? You, the sand underneath it, you need to be the rock underneath it. So, you'll do that. But do that a lot through diet, All right, okay. So, Capricorn rising, Aquarius second house, Uranus ruled in Aries. Try to come up with something new, something, you're sharing that there with Sagittarius. Try to come up with new packaging on something. And also you've got an opposition to Jupiter. So, like if you have a wife or opposition, listen to your opposition, listen to your wife. Okay? Because, there may be stuff that you didn't think of. Okay. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Well, in your sixth house is Uranus and Aries, which is coming up with some kind of exercise system, and creating some new kind of work. Well, I'm a Scorpio, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And let's see here. We got Jupiter is trine in Cancer, and gee, how much better could that be? That's up in the ninth house here for Scorpio. And that's getting ready to go forward in a trine to those born around the middle of Scorpio, the 2/3 over, that section around there. Those people who are normally opposite the Pleiades, which means they come in contact more with the alien beings from the Pleiades, who are not aliens at all. They're humans in a more perfected form. They're bigger, taller, stronger, more beautiful, more healthy. They live to be 900 years because they have plasma technology, which is here, which is our crappy government is keeping from us because they want to keep us slaves that get sick and go to the hospital and take pills and get shots and fuck them. Huh? Anyway, so the ninth house is in here. If you're going to get involved in a class action suit, Scorpio, to try to tear down some of these icons, that'd be you to do that. So if you're on Facebook or one of those sites, Facebook me, Ben Harris, and I'll spread the word, because now's the time to reharvest the plants. Okay. And then what else you got here for Scorpio rising is you got Uranus in Aries, that's in the sixth house. Jupiter's in the ninth house, and Pluto and in Capricorn in the third house. That again is communicating, writing, or making these videos on YouTube like I do. This is almost 600 videos for me, and I want to get the word out. More and more people got to listen, but I'm not going to do it in the formulated package method because that sucks. succoth. Eat succotash, it's good for you. Alright, so then let's take a look at Libra rising. It's got Uranus in the 7th house, the desire to rebel. Just be careful, okay? The real rebellion will be going on in China, and we'll be buying them at garage sale prices. So just let time take its course, okay? And Uranus being in Aries, that's contacting the greater outside world. So try to do that, use the internet and, connect with the outside world somehow. It can be done, A lady friend of mine did a video on how to teach parrots how to talk, Karen Beaver, Aries, and she sold like 40,000 copies of it. That's for you, Libra. And remember, you're ruled by Venus, and Venus is always good, but you have to watch what you eat and learn to eat a salad and a bowl of stew every day, and then a few pieces of fruit. And then where's Venus kicking off for this this not a composite, it's a horary chart. Venus, where are you? Buried away in all these symbols. Venus at 20 degrees of Capricorn, so that's good. It's in a solid place. It's going to be in Capricorn for a long time, going back and forth. So Venus has a liking for the old and the great. Like I'm down on 8th Street in Los Angeles, videotaping those Victorian mansions. I should have done the ones on Bunker Hill. I really made a mistake, because those were so beautiful, beyond belief mansions. And the only place you can find them are in the Architectural Digest, which has a lot of them, if you have a lot of those magazines. Alright, so next we got Leo rising, ruled by the Sun, and right now the Sun is in Capricorn, right at that 22 degrees, conjunct that Sun, so that Venus is being blasted and amplified and strengthened by the Sun, which gives it stature and form and power and zeal. So that's really good, and that's a good energy, and that's coming out of the it's coming out of the 6th house, which is some kind of career move. So that's in the offing. That's a good one. It's even got Mercury and Aquarius accompanying it, so that's a good one, and that means the new project's a go. Get on it. Alright, next we're going to go to Cancer rising. You got Jupiter rising. Time to work out. Take those vitamins. Eat those raw salads. But make it pleasant. Don't make it unpleasant, Have a protein drink in the morning and have vegetable juice in the afternoon. Eat carrot with a beet and test the foods with a pendulum. Make sure they're not GMO. And a bunch of celery and a lot of parsley. Put in a lot of parsley and chunks of garlic. And that should be enough, Drink about 16 ounces of that once a day. Take the rest of the vegetables and make vegetable coleslaw and try to eat that as a snack. And fill up in your snack dishes radishes, and how about some celery with peanut butter in the center, Nuts is good too. Have nuts around. Alright, so in your 7th house you've got Pluto. You've got the system if you want to use it. It's conjunct Venus, which means there's bucks in it if you want to use the system. But where's Saturn? Saturn here is at Scorpio, trining you, trying to help you. Why do you want to rely on Pluto? Will suck you in like an octopus does. So you want to maybe stay here with the Saturn in the 5th house in Scorpio, dealing maybe with something a little traditional in the video business. That's 5th house is a natural for that. And you've also got this, you got the Uranus up here in the 9th house, so be careful for legal stuff, bumping into jerk-offs, cars, and things like that. So otherwise, Jupiter and Cancer, things couldn't be better. Just, eat good, okay? Gemini, moon's in the 12th house. Gonna spend more time at home. Third house, Jupiter, that's good. Communication is big. Stay around the neighborhood, jog around the neighborhood. This is a good thing for you to do. And the neighborhood is going to yield some fruit for you. So jogging around solves three things going on for Gemini all at once. So take me at that. And let's see what else we got here for Gemini. Saturn and Scorpio. That's in your sixth house, which means you need to check on your sexual health. So get a STD test and put some zinc into your diet, and maybe take some maca root because your sexual organs may be under strain. So you might get some homeopathic testosterone tincture. It might be a good idea. Yeah, okay, so and then I'm trying to remember. There's so many asteroids on this chart, it's hard to read. And, Pluto's in your 8th house, so you're probably going to inherit something. And your sex life's going to get especially good. So if it's a Gemini woman, please walk by my house. Let's see here. Up here in the 10th house, you have Neptune in Pisces. So you're going to have to, even though you have a sharp mental faculty and you rely on it almost totally, remember the mind has one function. It says, yeah, but. The real information comes in on intuitive streams laced on a color vibration. One has to be in a relaxed meditative mood to perceive this. But your communications will be coming in from your pod on mystical color vibrations, psychic vibrations, dreamlike vibrations, not linear thought forms. So try to make that separation now. And the others, wherever you have Gemini in your horoscope, try to make that vibration now, because you want to get off the linear thought form vibration. No, that's not going to work, as we're really getting more and more deeply into the 4th dimension. The thought form is more accurate to be like the thought form in a baseball, then a piano, then a walrus, then a fish, then a slice into another reality, and back home, and then around again. It works like that. So it's a kind of a buffet that's moving around all around you, like lots of gyroscopes, feeding in stuff on those various trips, which got a reality of their own, which can be balled up and thrown into space. It's a kind of peculiar, but that's one way of looking at it. All right, stuff for Gemini.
This is a confused and frightened world, but it's a world to run away from.